In this video, I'm going to show you how to populate your estimate using the takeoff form. So the first thing I need to do is open up one of our estimate templates, and I'm going to open up the ABC Bank template. With the application open, go to the estimate tool set at the top and click on the second icon from the left. We're going to do a short takeoff in concrete, so click on the divisions 01 through 14. Now the first thing we want to do is click on the concrete button on the left. The next thing we want to do is fill out the heading information at the top. So for under base bid alternate, we'll leave the base bid. Sort fields, we're going to leave those blank. Phase, let's select concrete, and subphase, we'll select concrete footings. Well, there isn't actually a concrete footings on here, so we'll click on concrete forming, and we're going to go ahead and just modify that. We'll change the subphase number and call it footings, and the takeoff name, we'll call it trench footings detail 1 of S2. Okay, the next thing we want to do is go ahead and create some headings onto our worksheet from the phase, subphase, and takeoff name information. So under phase, we're going to bold it, underline it, center it, create that heading. Click yes here. And then subphase, we'll bold it and underline it, create that heading, and then we'll underline the takeoff name and create that heading. Now I'm going to click on this min-max button so you can see what we just did. So you can see we've created the heading of concrete, subheading of concrete footings, and then the takeoff name of trench footings. Okay, so we'll maximize that screen. Now we can go ahead and perform some takeoff. And if you go to the window down below on the form, you'll see all of the concrete database items listed. So before we want to do our takeoff, we want to narrow this list down. Okay, so we're going to use the category and subcategory for that. So under category, our first item in our takeoff is going to be excavation. So grading and excavation, and then excavation for concrete work. And then we've narrowed down our list, and now we can select the items we want to bring into our estimate. So we're going to select trenching heading, and then the cost item we'll select per cubic yard, 15 cubic yard. And now we can record those items. Okay, and the next item, we can go ahead and clear the check boxes. If you want to reset this list to your full list of database items, you can click reset, and then we're back to the full list. Now if we want to do the next item, we can do reinforcing, and I'll select my heading item and then my cost item again and bring those in. Now I'm going to minimize the screen again. I want to have you take note that every time we hit the record button or the create heading button, we're creating a new line under the line that is highlighted. Okay, so if we're up here, it's going to insert a new line between these two. So to create consecutive lines, you'll always be on the last used line. So just wanted to note that. We'll do the last item here on our takeoff, and we'll use concrete mix, ready mix and placement, and find the correct heading. I'm having a hard time finding it at the moment. There it is. And select those two items or record it. And now we're going to use the single item takeoff, and we're going to this gives you a little bit more flexibility as far as entry into the worksheet. You can put your quantities in, and it'll automatically populate your totals. And then also you can create a one-time item, so something that isn't in the database. And so for this example, I'm going to put a water stop um, in here, but I don't want it at the bottom. I want it somewhere up here. So I'm going to put it after this per cubic yard item. So I'm going to click on that and maximize that. Go to accessories, concrete accessories. I'm going to find my water stop item, which I know is down towards the bottom. I'm going to click on that, get rid of that 0. This is my heading item, so I'm going to record that. Now you'll get this: your cursor position is not on the last used row. Do you wish to insert below the selected row? Yes, we do. Okay, and now I'm going to put my cost item in, and I'm going to use rubber 6-inch water stop. Let's say you wanted to change that to 4, so you can change that. If you wanted to change your cost code number, you could do that. You can put your quantity right in here, and you can change any of the cost information. So I'll change that to $3.20. Record that. Okay, so that's how we've populate our estimate rather using the multi-item takeoff and the single item takeoff. Assemblies and smart assemblies, we'll tackle that in another tutorial. So we'll go ahead and close out our user form, and now we can go ahead and enter in our quantity. And once you enter in your quantity, you're automatically totaling across and down, and then over to the right you'll see these sort fields from our heading were brought in. And in another tutorial we'll talk about filtering and that sort of thing, but that's useful in that, so that's why those columns are there. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and save, and we opened a blank template, and so we can either use the save icon or the save as. They'll both open up a dialog box when you're coming off a blank template. So I'm going to go ahead and use a save as, and we want to find our file location. Okay, now I want to save it in a manner that is useful. So I want to change the file to ABC Bank, and I'm going to call it 03 Concrete. You may be in a situation where you have multiple estimators working on one project. You might have one taking off concrete and the other one doing carpentry, and you may want to merge all of your estimates from a like project into one estimate later on when everything's complete. And to do that, there's a feature within Logix that allows you to do that, but it does require, or recommend anyway, that you save numerically by division, and then you also have to save all in the same folder. If you do those two things, you can bring in you can merge your estimates and bring them all in sequentially by division. Okay, so we're going to save it ABC Bank 03 Concrete. Macro enabled workbook is there by default, which is correct. We don't want a template here, we want a workbook. So I'm in the right folder. I'm going to click save. So that is how you generate estimate items from the takeoff form, and in another tutorial we'll go through some of the worksheet functions, but appreciate you listening. Thank you.